Alright, finally the long-awaited tank reveal, and ladies and gentlemen, I fixed the camera. Alright, it's better than what it used to be. Better than this. Yeah. Let's get to it! Alright, here's the beautiful frog spawn. No longer clear at all. I think it's completely bounced back. The only thing I'm waiting on to come back now, or you could see some of the heads or the tips where they should be green are actually faded out. You can see one right there. Yep. So let's stop the epilepsy for you all. Alright, yeah, right there. So we're waiting on that. Hopefully it'll come back here in the month time. If not, oh well. The new branches that are gonna grow out of this guy will be green, as they have been when they have been coming in lately. So it's actually really gotten larger in size. You see how this stripe right here to the center of the screen is more white than the others? That's actually a new section to the coral that's coming in. You can see that all the way around the body from both views of the actual coral. So it's making its bounce back. Sweet. So of everything in this tank that I am most certainly looking forward to bouncing back, or actually growing in this case because it never died, is this hammer. I love it. It's just color contrast is great. You know, my last frog spawn was occupied by my clownfish that I have, but we'll see if they choose the hammer this time around. I know it's been known for both to do it, but we'll see. Only time will tell. This one's growing in nicely. I can never see the head when I'm spot feeding, but it's up there somewhere. You can see the stalk down low right there, so I can only assume it's towards the center of the body. But speaking of the little guys, there he is. How's he doing, buddy? Oh, I'm sorry. Anywho, yeah, moving on. Now I must admit, of all the corals to bounce back, the acan right here, the rainbow acan, and the red blasto, which I'll show you next, have done anything short of surprising me. So this guy has made a complete recovery, growing new heads again, has his green, it's hard to tell on the camera, but he's got his green, purple, and orange coming in. If I recall, the only color it's missing is, I think it was pink, don't know, but is doing a remarkable recovery. Actually, for all the corals, they're all making a great come back with their colors, their unique colors. You know, I've noticed that the colors that really tended to not die off when the tank crashed was green on the majority of the green corals, and red. Everything else, the blues, the purple, the pinks, the bright greens, like on this acan, really died off, but they're coming back in now. Here's a red acan, or the cherry red blasto that I was telling you about. If you recall my last video when I was doing the dipping, I told you I injured part of it when I was taking it off of the actual rock down from the Evo, and you can tell the skeleton was shown prior because it was actually attached to the rock. So a little bit of it came out, but it closed up nicely. It bounced back. You know, that iodine dip that we did for it really came into work here. I'll show you the actual skeleton from the original red blasto. You can see even more better down here. You see all this white. It's not really covered by anything. That's actually the old frame for how big the old blasto was before. Actually, this blasto was before it died. So it's remarkable how well this coral bounced back, and it makes me regret throwing out the other skeletons when they were a little worse off than this guy. But yeah, surprising. So let's move on. So here's our red shrooms that also bounced back. I just never dripped them when I first got them very well, and so they started to die off when I first got them, but they made a good recovery. They used to all be red, and now they actually have their blue speckles back. They look purple in the camera, but they're blue in reality. And the a small shroom that I actually left in a 5-gallon. Did something funny that I'll show you in a minute after we're done with this tank. But this one's doing well. It's growing fast. It's actually got a smaller head on the back. Let me show you. Isn't it so cute? I wonder what that is. I hope that's not some green hair algae. I actually ended up knocking out 2 of the frags that I used to have in here. One was the one I positioned there. It was the Sunny D Pallies. Yeah, they didn't do so hot after I transferred them in here. And I saw green hair algae growing on them again, so I just said, heck no, not ruining my new tank. So I took them out. Wasn't even worth it. Put them back in the 5. I'll go check if they're still alive, but I don't think they made that. The other ones I took out was up here. I had zoas, the purple-orange zoas. I don't recall what they're called, but they were here. I also took them out because of the same cause. They actually weren't even opening up. They looked far gone because I just scrubbed on these 2 corals too much with a toothbrush, trying to get rid of that green hair algae when I was transferring them. So it was probably best that I had just left them in that tank instead of trying to move them over. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll know when I show you the Evo 5. So these longer pallies are doing awesome. They actually grew in a new head. You can see it on the bottom left. Let's zoom in on it. Right there, you see that little bad boy coming in? Yeah. Get excited, people. Making coral. Alright. And this one's actually got a nice green tint to it in the center that I didn't notice before until now. See that? Change camera. Yeah, it looks beautiful. These guys grow fast, so I'm looking forward to covering the tank. I gotta frag some out for the 55-gallon. Same thing with the ones up top. I'm gonna be fragging out. I placed the other cheapo zoas up top because I just didn't want to take the chance of putting something nice up here that's not an SPS and risk giving it too much light. I've already lost enough coral, so I'm starting off the bottom and moving them up, getting them used to the light. I've actually also been stepping up my light from 11 watts. I went to 13 watts, increasing the UV as well. And then I increased the UV again just today after about a week. Well, pretty much since my last video upload was my last step up or my last ramp up. So I'm just trying to make sure these guys are really accustomed to everything in the tanks. I just don't want to lose anybody else. Let me get you a better angle on these guys. Yeah, here they are. They've got more color. They're like a light brown, dark brown, little green, light green dot in the middle. You can't really tell on the camera, but these guys are going to look nice when they cover in. You can see there's already this new head here on these ones. They're growing in fast. I've been spot feeding everything, including these guys. And here's just some more from another view. If it'll focus for you. No focus. No love today. No love today. Alright, but yeah, this is the completed 10-gallon. Isn't it beautiful? Can't wait. Let's see. Look at that. Alright. My cleanup crew in here. Haven't lost anybody yet. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, cool. Moving on to the 5. Look at this glorified madness of magician pallies just blowing up everywhere. Let them blow up. I don't even care. You know what? Perfectly fine. I'll keep them in here. Let them grow out. When I feel like the colony's big enough to where I can frag some that I can risk losing, I'll transfer them over into the other tank. But yeah. Yeah, so besides that, I got the Rossozoas. I actually managed to save a few in this tank after I pulled out the other ones. There's 1, there's 2 in between the magician pallies as well. Then there's green hair algae, just, yeah, it grows. I pull it, it grows. I'm kind of at the point where I'm too lazy to pull it, and I'm just going to let it do what it does. I got 3 or 4 heads of the orange blasto still making its comeback. And then to the right, I have my funny story. So, had had that tiny, you remember that tiny shroom that I put right there? Well, turns out it kept falling off about 3 different times, so I got sick of it. Decided to just let it be. So I let it be. Then one day I look, and what do you know? Son of a gun rode the current all the way home, and it's chilling right there. And it's even got a speckle coming in, so it's doing well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my completed tank update. Also, for those of you with Fusion 10, here's a little tip. With these clear clamps right here, go ahead and trim it, flush it level. See how I did it here? Let me take one out. Yeah, flush it level. So this used to be here, right here, but I trimmed it. It looks nice. And this way the water doesn't ride up into over your glass wall. That was a common problem with these tanks. So now I can actually fill up the tank to its appropriate level and not have to worry about draining half a gallon on my countertop. Nice. Alright guys, shall we conclude this video? Y'all have a lovely day, lovely night, whatever time it is that you are at, and I will see you on the next tank update. Check it out. Oh, he's found a new home too. Sweet.